Palo Alto Network's NetSec Analyst exam practice questions with explanations are available in the video for you to study. Which Palo Alto Network's firewall component is responsible for handling configuration tasks, producing logs, and generating reports using its own dedicated processor? A. Security engine. B. Data plane. C. Management plane. D. Packet processing engine. The answer is C. The management plane is responsible for all administrative and control functions on the firewall. It maintains configurations, processes logs, and supports reporting operations separately from traffic handling. This separation ensures that management tasks do not interfere with packet forwarding. The data plane focuses on traffic inspection, while other internal components support specialized services. Therefore, only the management plane provides the dedicated processor for configuration, logging, and reporting. A company uses an application ID called mega-app_base. A new content update introduces two additional sub-applications, mega-app_chat and mega-app_download, which will replace part of the original signature set after 30 days. What happens to this traffic once the change takes effect? A. Traffic matching the newly created sub-apps is blocked because it no longer fits the original base signature. B. Traffic continues uninterrupted because the update installs automatically. C. The firewall adds rule exceptions for all new sub-apps without user action. D. All three app signatures are blocked until an administrator approves them. The answer is A. When content updates split an existing app ID into several more granular identifiers, any traffic matching the new signatures may no longer match the older base rule. If administrators do not update related security policies, the firewall will treat the new applications as unknown or unauthorized. This can result in unintended blocking. Palo Alto Networks recommends reviewing application changes before enforcement to prevent service disruption. Therefore, newly created sub-apps are denied unless the policies are updated to include them. How many different security zones can a single firewall interface belong to? A. 1 B. 2 C. 3 D. 4. The answer is A. Each firewall interface can be assigned to only one security zone. This design ensures clear and predictable policy evaluation. Assigning an interface to multiple zones would create ambiguity in rule matching and session establishment. Traffic control is always evaluated based on the zone-to-zone interaction defined in security policy. Therefore, the interface is limited to a single zone assignment. Which two interface monitoring settings are not part of the firewall's default configuration? Choose 2. A. Security logging enabled. B. Server log polling interval. C. Session monitoring enabled. D. Probing enabled. The answer is B. C. Some monitoring functions on Palo Alto Networks interfaces require explicit configuration because they can introduce additional overhead. The server log polling frequency is not preset and must be adjusted based on environment needs. Similarly, enabling session-based monitoring is not automatic since it may add processing load. Default settings usually emphasize stability and minimal performance impact. Therefore, these two options do not come pre-configured. When creating an application filter object, which attributes can be used to dynamically group applications? A. Category, subcategory, technology, risk, characteristic. B. Category, port, technology, risk, scope. C. Name, port, category, characteristic. D. Category, signature, technology, version. The answer is A. Application filters allow administrators to group applications dynamically by selecting specific attributes. These attributes include category, subcategory, risk level, technology type, and traffic characteristics. When new applications are added to content updates, they automatically join matching filters. This approach simplifies policy maintenance in environments with frequent application changes. Therefore, the correct set of attributes includes all listed in option A. Which two URL filtering profile elements support, block, or allow actions? Choose two. A. Block list. B. Custom URL categories. C. PanDB categories only. D. Allow list. The answer is AD. The allow and block lists take precedence over other URL evaluation mechanisms, giving administrators fine control over URL handling. Entries placed in the block list are always restricted, while those in the allow list bypass stricter category actions. Custom or predefined categories rely on broader classification but do not override explicit allow/block lists. This prioritization ensures consistent enforcement of administrator-defined exceptions. As a result, only the allow and block lists directly support both actions. An organization has devices that do not authenticate to Active Directory. Which user ID method enables accurate user mapping for such clients? A. Monitoring Windows logins from a domain controller. B. Using a Windows-based user ID agent. C. Enforcing identification through captive portal. D. Using an integrated user ID agent on the firewall. The answer is C. Captive portal provides a browser-based method to identify users regardless of directory service participation. When a device attempts to access the network, the portal prompts for authentication, creating an IP to user mapping. This method works well in mixed environments with unmanaged devices. By contrast, Windows-based monitoring relies on AD logon events, which are unavailable. Therefore, captive portal is the suitable option. A company wants users to choose any office productivity application they prefer. Which configuration most effectively supports this dynamic behavior? A. Create an application filter targeting the Office Programs subcategory. B. Create an application group containing specific Office apps. C. Add Office apps to a whitelist manually. D. Create a filter for unknown applications only. The answer is A. Application filters automatically include applications based on defined attributes, such as category and subcategory. Because Office Suite applications vary widely, grouping them manually is time-consuming and error-prone. A filter tied to the Office Programs subcategory ensures that new applications added via updates are immediately included. This reduces administrative overhead and ensures users have uninterrupted access. Therefore, using an application filter is the recommended approach. A security profile can affect traffic at what point in firewall processing? A. Only after the traffic is allowed by a security rule. B. Before the traffic matches any policy. C. At the same stage as NAT processing. D. Before and after policy evaluation. The answer is A. Security profiles such as antivirus or anti-spyware are applied only after a security rule permits the session. The profile then inspects the content for threats within that allowed session. They do not evaluate traffic before a rule match because the firewall must determine whether the flow is permitted first. Profiles never replace rule logic but supplement it with deeper inspection. Therefore, they operate exclusively after a rule allows the session. Which NAT configuration is required to enable source NAT for hosts accessing external networks? A. A NAT rule specifying source and destination zones. B. A NAT rule without specifying zones. C. A global NAT override rule. D. A post-NAT policy rule from external to internal. The answer is A. Source NAT requires identifying traffic direction, which depends on the source and destination zones. The firewall uses this information to determine when address translation should occur. Without specifying zones, the rule becomes ambiguous and may not apply as intended. Post-NAT rules do not configure translation behavior. Thus, defining the correct zones is required for proper source NAT operation.